All right, welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about something pretty fascinating. It's how artificial intelligence is like completely changing the game for understanding markets and economies. Um, and I'm really excited about this because you sent me this like really compelling collection of articles and research and different analyses. It's a lot to go through, but I think our mission today should be to pull out like the most significant insights, the stuff that really matters so that people can quickly grasp what's happening and why it's such a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. Consider this like your fast track to being well informed about AI in markets and economies. We'll explore how AI is not just, predicting what we buy, but influencing like major economic forecasts and even how governments make decisions. And of course, we'll look at the actual techniques that make this possible and these new business models that are popping up in this AI-driven world. So why don't we just jump right in? How is AI reshaping market analysis, for example?
Yeah, let's get into it. When we talk about like, figuring out a market, a big piece of the puzzle is knowing what people will want and how much they'll want it. I mean, that's demand forecasting, right? And it sounds like AI is bringing a whole new level of accuracy here.
It really is. Traditional forecasting, often relied on looking at past sales, but in today's world, that only tells you so much. The really cool thing is how AI can look at a much wider range of signals. Things like what people are searching for online, what's being discussed on social media, even, demographic shifts, and to get a much clearer and more accurate picture of future demand.
Oh, wow. So it's not just about the past. It's about understanding the present to predict the future. What's the secret sauce here? What kind of technology makes that possible?
Well, we're talking about machine learning. Algorithms that can, learn complex patterns from massive amounts of data. And then you have these deep learning techniques, particularly something called LSTM
Oh,
networks.
LSTM network.
Yeah, exactly. You can think of LSTM like a way for the AI to have a memory of past trends, allowing it to better predict future patterns in things like seasonal sales or stock prices, while also, factoring in those real-time external influences we were talking about earlier.
Hmm. That's fascinating. Now, for businesses, being able to sort of see around the corner like this is going to be huge, right? What are the real world benefits of that kind of forecasting power?
The impact is actually really significant. First off, it makes managing inventory way more efficient. Businesses can, stock just the right amount of product, cutting down on overstock, which wastes money and resources, and also avoiding those frustrating stockouts that leave customers empty-handed. This efficiency kind of flows through the entire supply chain, leading to lower costs and happier customers because they can actually find what they need when they need it. It's a real shift, from just reacting to what's already happened to actually planning for what's coming.
Right. So instead of being caught off guard, they can be prepared. Now, another crucial part of understanding a market is knowing exactly who your customers are. That's market segmentation, right?
Yeah.
How is AI changing how businesses understand their customers?
It's changing it a lot. In the past, you might divide your market based on pretty broad categories, like age, location, income. AI takes a much deeper dive by processing huge amounts of information about consumers to create these incredibly detailed segments. We're talking not just about demographics, but also their actual behavior, what they're buying, how they interact with brands, and even their psychographics, that, their interests, values, lifestyles.
Wow. So we're talking about like really specific stuff.
Exactly. Like imagine AI identifying a segment like urban millennials interested in sustainable pet food and engaging in online running communities, for instance.
Right.
Yeah, traditional methods would probably miss such a specific, potentially valuable niche.
Yeah, that's incredible. How does AI actually pull those kinds of insights out of all that data?
It uses algorithms that are designed for clustering data. Things like k-means and hierarchical clustering. Think of it like sorting a pile of, I don't know, mixed candies into groups based on their color and size, but with people and all their data. These algorithms find natural groupings within the data, revealing those really nuanced customer segments you might not see with traditional methods.
And for businesses, being able to target those like super specific groups must be incredibly powerful. What's the real advantage there?
Well, it allows for truly personalized marketing. You can really tailor your messages and offers to resonate with very specific groups. Plus, this makes your marketing efforts much more efficient because you're focusing on the people who are most likely to be interested. And, ultimately it leads to better decisions because you have these clear insights into exactly what different types of customers prefer. It's a huge leap beyond just saying, okay, our target is women aged 30 to 45.
Right. It's about understanding the why behind the what much more deeply. Now, what about What about keeping an eye on the competition? How is AI helping businesses understand what their rivals are doing in the market?
Well, this is where AI acts like this super efficient intelligence gatherer. It can constantly monitor what your competitors are up to across all sorts of channels. When they launch new products, how they're pricing things, their marketing campaigns, even what they're saying on social media.
So it's like having like a 24/7 spy network for your industry.
Exactly. And it can even pick up on stuff that would be really hard for humans to track manually, like subtle shifts in their online ad spending or even, nuanced changes in their product descriptions over time.
Wow. How does AI actually gather all that information? I mean, where does it even come from?
Well, AI tools can automate the process of collecting data from all sorts of online sources, competitors' websites, their social media feeds, news articles, industry reports. It's like having a whole team dedicated to competitive intelligence, but they can operate at a scale and speed that no human team could ever match.
So businesses get a constant stream of updates on their competitors. What's the real payoff there in terms of, strategy and decision making?
It gives them real-time insights into what their competitors are doing, which helps them spot both opportunities and potential threats much faster. This means they can be way more informed when it comes to strategic planning. They can anticipate their competitors' moves, understand broader market trends, and ultimately, make smarter decisions to stay competitive.
Okay, so we've talked about understanding current customers and keeping tabs on competitors. Now, what about predicting what customers will do next? How is AI tackling that challenge?
Consumer behavior prediction is another area where AI is making huge strides. By analyzing a wide range of data, past purchases, browsing history, social media activity, even the feedback they provide, AI models can start to identify patterns and trends that can actually forecast future actions.
So it's like looking at all those digital footprints we leave behind and using that to figure out what we might be interested in next.
Exactly. It's about understanding the individual customer journey and using those insights to predict their future behavior.
What are the big advantages of being able to predict consumer behavior like that?
Oh, the benefits are substantial. Businesses can offer really personalized recommendations, like in real time, which, boosts customer satisfaction.
Yeah.
They can also identify customers who might be thinking of leaving and proactively reach out to keep them engaged, which leads to better customer retention. And of course, it enables much more effective and targeted marketing campaigns, which ultimately lead to increased sales. The real power here is AI's ability to make sense of all those complex and subtle factors that influence what we buy and do.
It's like having a crystal ball, but it's powered by data and algorithms. Now, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the bigger picture, the economy as a whole. How is AI being used in economic analysis at a larger scale?
AI is proving to be an incredibly valuable tool for understanding and forecasting macroeconomic trends. Think about trying to predict things like GDP growth, inflation, unemployment. AI models are now integrating vast amounts of diverse data to make those predictions with increasing accuracy.
When you say diverse data, what exactly are we talking about here? It's got to be more than just the usual economic statistics, right?
Absolutely. AI can process the traditional economic statistics, but it can also incorporate things like news articles to gauge economic sentiment, social media discussions to understand consumer confidence, and even, unconventional data sources like satellite images.
Satellite images. I've never thought of using those for economic forecasting.
It's actually pretty amazing. Analyzing nighttime light intensity from satellite images can give you a surprisingly accurate indication of economic activity in different regions. More light often means more businesses are operating and more people are consuming.
That's fascinating. So AI is not just processing more data, it's getting smarter about what data is most significant.
Yeah.
What's the main benefit of using AI in this kind of macroeconomic forecasting?
The key benefits are greater predictive accuracy and the ability to analyze different potential scenarios dynamically. This means that policymakers and businesses can make more informed decisions because they have a better understanding of, possible future economic paths and the potential impact of the various factors. And they can do all of this with more confidence because AI is helping them to see those trends more clearly.
That sounds incredibly valuable for shaping economic policy. Now, what about the financial markets? We hear a lot about AI being used in finance. What are some of the main ways it's being applied there?
Oh, financial markets are embracing AI in a big way. Algorithmic trading, where AI models execute trades at super high speed and with, incredible precision, that's already pretty well established. AI is also crucial for things like detecting fraud by identifying unusual patterns in transactions. And in risk management, AI algorithms can analyze huge amounts of data to assess and manage various financial risks.
So it's all about speed, accuracy, and, potentially better returns.
Exactly. Portfolio management's also benefiting with AI helping investors analyze market conditions and economic indicators. And then there's sentiment analysis, where AI uses natural language processing to gauge the mood of the market from news and social media, which can inform trading strategies.
So we've got AI trading, AI fraud detection, AI risk management. It sounds like AI is involved in almost every aspect of the financial world. What kind of advantages does this bring?
It's really about faster and smarter decision making. AI can process information and make trades much faster than humans. It can also improve risk management by, spotting potential problems earlier and more accurately. And ultimately, the goal is to use AI's powerful analytical capabilities to improve investment outcomes.
Now, you mentioned risk management as a specific application. How is AI changing how we assess risk in the economic and financial sectors?
Traditional risk assessment often struggles to keep up with the sheer volume and complexity of today's data. What's really significant here is AI's ability to handle these huge data sets and to spot patterns and connections that, human analysts or even traditional statistical methods just simply miss.
So it's kind of like finding the needle in a very large, very noisy haystack.
Precisely. AI uses sophisticated algorithms to analyze these complex data sets in real time. This provides, vital insights for effective risk management. And one key component of that is predictive analytics, which allows you to forecast potential risks and identify emerging threats before they turn into major problems. Plus, AI can automate many of those, really routine tasks involved in collecting and processing data. This not only reduces the chance of human error, but also significantly speeds up the entire risk assessment process.
So the benefits are faster processing, better predictions, and more efficient workflows. That makes sense, especially in the fast-paced world of finance. Now let's go back to the policy side for a minute. How are governments and other organizations using AI to evaluate the potential impact of their policies?
This is a really interesting area, and it's evolving rapidly. AI tools are being used to, analyze huge amounts of data and to forecast the likely outcomes of different policy options. The goal is to give policymakers a much clearer understanding of the potential consequences of their decisions before they're actually implemented. Think of it like a really sophisticated simulation tool for policy.
So like being able to test out different policy ideas in a virtual environment before rolling them out in the real world.
In a way, yes. AI models can process vast amounts of data to identify trends and predict how different policies might affect various sectors of the economy or different segments of the population. And it's important to note that the aim is not to replace policymakers, but to equip them with, data-driven insights that can lead to better informed decisions and ultimately better policy outcomes.
That's a really powerful tool for shaping effective policy. So AI is touching almost every corner of how we understand markets and economies. Now, let's talk about the nuts and bolts for a minute. What are some of the key AI techniques and methodologies that are actually making all of this possible?
Sure. The power behind AI's analytical capabilities comes from a range of sophisticated techniques. Machine learning algorithms are at the core. For example, regression models, these are used to predict continuous values like GDP growth or inflation rates. Then there's classification algorithms. They help to categorize data and forecast different scenarios. And clustering algorithms, those are essential for things like market segmentation that we talked about earlier. And for data that changes over time, like stock prices or consumer demand, we use time series analysis algorithms.
Right. So those are some of the specific ways that AI is being used to analyze data. What about natural language processing? How does that fit into all of this?
Natural language processing, or NLP, is what allows AI to understand and interpret human language. This is incredibly valuable for analyzing things like customer feedback from surveys, the sentiment expressed about brands on social media, and even, understanding those nuances in news articles and financial reports.
So it's giving AI the ability to actually understand what we're saying in writing, not just numbers and statistics.
Exactly.
And then there's deep learning, which
Yeah.
seems to be, a really hot topic these days. How does it differ from more traditional machine learning, especially when it comes to market and economic analysis?
Deep learning is a type of machine learning that uses artificial neural networks with, multiple layers. Think of it like this. These networks are kind of like interconnected neurons in multiple layers that allow the AI to automatically learn increasingly complex features from the data. You could even say it's similar to how our own brains process information in stages. And these deep neural networks, they're particularly good at recognizing complex patterns in very large data sets. And that leads to better accuracy in areas like macroeconomic forecasting, financial modeling, and even, analyzing images and videos for market research.
So it's a more advanced way for AI to learn and identify patterns, especially in those really complex real-world data sets. Now, with all these powerful AI tools and techniques emerging, what kind of impact is that having on the business world? It seems like a whole new set of businesses developing around AI. What are some of the key business models we're seeing in this AI-driven analysis landscape?
Yeah, we are seeing some interesting business models take shape. One of the most common is software as a service, or SaaS platforms. These companies offer subscription-based access to AI-powered analytical tools. Things like, automating surveys, analyzing trends, gathering competitive intelligence. This makes these powerful tools a lot more accessible to even smaller businesses, those that might not have the resources for huge upfront investments in infrastructure or specialized expertise.
That makes sense. It lowers the barrier to entry.
Yeah.
What other ways are businesses leveraging AI analysis capabilities?
Well, there's also data analytics services. These are companies that offer, in-depth AI-driven analysis and reporting as a service.
Hmm.
So a business might hire them to do things like predictive analytics or really detailed customer segmentation without needing to build their own internal AI capabilities. Then you have consulting firms. They play a significant role by, helping businesses develop AI strategies, implement those AI tools, and train their teams to use those tools effectively.
So you can either buy the AI tools and do it yourself, or you can hire the experts to do it for you. Are there any other interesting business models emerging in this space?
There are. We're seeing a rise in those specialized AI-powered tools that really focus on niche applications. Things like AI-powered sales assistants, platforms specifically designed for competitor analysis, or tools tailored for specific analytical tasks like due diligence and finance, for example. These often offer things like, highly automated data collection, really tailored sentiment analysis, and predictive modeling for specific needs.
So it's a pretty diverse and evolving ecosystem that's forming around AI and market and economic analysis. Now, the material you shared also included some specific examples of companies that are either, built entirely on AI for market analysis or are using AI extensively within their economic analysis departments. Could you give us a few examples from those lists? Of course. In the realm of companies built on AI for market analysis, you've got players like Pecan AI. They specialize in predictive analytics for forecasting trends and consumer behavior across various industries. There's also Quantilope, which provides a platform that, really automates much of the market research process. And then there's Brandwatch, a well-known name in social listening, that use AI for brand monitoring and understanding public sentiment. Simporter's another interesting one. They focus on predicting consumer demand for new products, which is really valuable for consumer goods companies. And then there's Perplexity AI. They've got this AI-powered search engine that can be super helpful for market research and competitor analysis.
That's a pretty diverse set of companies. And they're all using AI as their core offering to tackle different aspects of market analysis. What about those more established companies that are heavily using AI in their economic analysis teams? What are some examples of those? We see widespread adoption across sectors. Financial institutions are using AI extensively for things like forecasting stock market trends, algorithmic trading, assessing risk, detecting fraud. Then there are those e-commerce giants like, Amazon and Alibaba. They rely heavily on AI for product recommendations, demand forecasting, and dynamic pricing. Retail companies use it for inventory management and personalized marketing. Airlines are using it for dynamically pricing tickets. Hedge funds use AI heavily for their algorithmic trading strategies. And of course, tech companies are not only developing AI tools, but also using them internally for their own analytics and to provide solutions for their clients. And we can't forget consulting firms. They are major users of AI to enhance their data analysis and provide more strategic recommendations to their clients.
It really sounds like AI is becoming essential across industries. Now, looking ahead, what are some of the future trends we can expect to see in how AI is used for market and economic analysis?
The field is moving incredibly fast, but we can expect to see even more automation of those routine analytical tasks, which will free up human analysts to focus on more complex and strategic thinking. Personalization in marketing and customer experiences will also get even more refined as AI gets better at understanding individual preferences. And AI will likely play an even larger role in decision-making for both businesses and governments. We'll likely also see those more sophisticated AI systems being developed that can understand and process multiple types of data, not just text, but images and video as well. That'll open up a lot of new possibilities for analysis. And then there's the idea of AI agents, which are designed to complete very specific tasks autonomously that could really streamline workflows in both market and economic analysis.
Wow, it sounds like we're on the verge of some really transformative changes. So to bring it all together, what are the main takeaways from our deep dive into AI in market and economic analysis today?
The overarching theme is really one of profound change. AI is bringing this unprecedented speed, accuracy, and efficiency to how we analyze data and generate insights in the world of markets and economics. And its impact is broad. Everything from fine-tuning demand forecasts to creating highly targeted customer segments, providing real-time intelligence on competitors, predicting consumer behavior, enhancing those macroeconomic and financial market analyses, and even informing those really crucial policy decisions. We're also seeing a shift in the business world with new models emerging and those companies that are embracing AI gaining a real competitive advantage.
And as we look to the future.
The future holds tremendous potential for greater automation, more sophisticated personalization, and an even deeper integration of AI into strategic decision-making. I think it's clear that AI is no longer some, futuristic idea. It's a present-day reality that's reshaping how we understand and interact with markets and economies.
That's a fantastic summary. It's clear that AI is not just some buzzword. It's a powerful set of tools that's fundamentally changing how we understand and operate in this world of business and economics. Thanks for sharing your expertise with us today. This has been a really fascinating conversation.
It's been my pleasure.
And for you, the listener, here's something to think about. How might this increasing integration of AI into these analytical fields reshape not just business strategies, but also our broader understanding of economic forces and consumer behavior in the years to come? It's definitely something to consider. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI and market and economic analysis. We'll see you next time.